Hey, it's Callie with Flower Moxie, and this is part one of our pre-made bouquets. I'm gonna unbox these, prep these, put these in water, and then I'll come back tomorrow and show you what they look like. So to start, I have 4 bridal bouquets in this box. I ordered one of each color because I wanted to see what they look like. So I'm gonna very carefully open this box and get started. Beautiful. All right. Okay, so you can see in this box here how the farms pack these. Very tight. We have like a foam layer covered with cardboard, and then it's strapped in really tight. So these are not moving around at all. So a little bit about our pre-made bouquets. These are made at the farm in South America, and we have our own custom recipes for these. So they make them at the farm, they pack them up, ship them straight to your door. It's really that easy. But I want to make sure that when you get these, that you are prepping these properly. So what we don't want to do is get our bouquets in, drop them in these vases, and don't think about them again until wedding day. That will not set you up for success. So I've got the packaging undone. Let's go ahead and get these out of this box. So they all come packed with a cellophane around them. That's really great for transit, but we do want to remove that pretty much as soon as we get those. Cellophane has a tendency to trap in moisture, so I know you'll sometimes receive flowers and they've been wrapped in cellophane, and that's only to protect them while they travel. These bouquets also come with flower food, so I've already prepped these vases with flower food, but whenever you receive these, be sure to fill your water with some food for some extra hydration. I'm going to very carefully remove this from the wrapper. And as you can see here, we have already wrapped this with ribbon. So this bouquet would be ready to go if I trimmed it and put it in water. However, I feel that this is a little bit stiff and a lot of the trends are a more organic shape, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and remove this ribbon. However, if this is your vibe, it's good to go. So there's these pins holding the ribbon on. Just gonna go ahead and remove those. Take off this ribbon, and as a florist, I am a pack rat. I don't waste anything, so I will set this in a box and likely use it later. I may even add it back to this bouquet tomorrow. So we'll set it aside, and this is the waterproof green stem tape that you would normally use on a bouquet. There's a bit much on there, so we're going to remove some of that as well. Maybe faster with scissors. Just be careful not to cut any of the stems. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove all of the stem tape. There we go. All right, this step is important. I want to kind of shake this bouquet out a little bit. You can see that they are very, very tightly packed together. We want these stems to breathe. We want them to open really large. So I'm gonna just kind of gently shake it apart. You can see already it's taking a bigger shape, a more organic shape. Tomorrow, once they've hydrated, I can show you how to rearrange this. You may want to pull your ranunculus up a little bit, tuck your roses down. Many different ways to make this your own, but right now we're just focused on the prep. So my bouquet is ready to be cut. See? I don't want to take off too much of these stems, maybe just a ½ an inch, maybe a full inch for this prep. And now simply drop it into your vase of water. And again, I want to kind of spread these out a little bit. We also have these protective nets on the mums. So be very careful when you remove these. We get questions all the time, at what point do I remove these? How do I remove these? Here's your answer. You remove them from the bottom and you remove them immediately. Sometimes you can wait and remove them once you have them in your design, but you do want these guys to fluff up. So go ahead and take those out, take them off, and give this cremone time to really open. You'll notice tomorrow it's gonna be like double that size. Gently pull that net from the bottom, stretch it really wide, and then it just comes off easily. I can't tell you how many moms I have broken the heads by just yanking it off, getting a little too confident, just taking it off too quickly. It's not what you want to do. Okay, and just like that, that is one bouquet. Let's move on to the next. Sometimes the bouquets will have rubber bands, just as extra support on there. Totally fine to go ahead and remove that also. Now this bouquet is actually full of red roses, and they will open. They're going to be a lot bigger. You may notice right now it looks kind of small compared to the orange bouquet, but it just needs a little bit of time to drink water, open up nice and big. All of the bouquets, all of our pre-made bouquets on our website are pretty similar as far as what flowers you get, but they do differ a little bit. Like this all hot pink with a few light pink elements has Veronica, which is not in all of our bouquets, but it's special to this one. So Veronica are these kind of worm looking guys coming out the top. Very fun, but they do have a tendency to be pretty floppy. So whenever I start to cut these stems, I want to make sure I find all of the Veronica stems and give them a fresh cut. Very important. We also have a lot of unbloomed, I believe these are mini carnations or solomillo in here. So it's a lot of green buds right now. Again, that's why we get our bouquets in 3 days early, give them time to open and be ready. So let's find that Veronica stem. The easiest way to find the stem that goes with this mangled mess up here is to gently pull on that stem and you can see it move. So here at the bottom, that's my Veronica stem. But honestly, all of these are already very even. So as long as I cut straight across, I know I'm gonna hit every stem. So I know I said cut straight across earlier. What I meant was still cutting these at an angle. I don't mean a blunt end. We never cut at a blunt end. So I'm cutting these stems at an angle, just like that. All right, our last bouquet. Got a purple bouquet. Oh, and I have a floppy Veronica. So that's normal. This is kind of what they tend to do. I'm gonna cut these and then tomorrow we're gonna see if it perks up or not. Typically, all they need is a fresh cut. They'll drink some water and it'll be standing up straight. But if that's not the case, then we know we're dealing with fresh flowers and occasionally you may lose 2 to 3 stems. At Flower Moxie, we like to say that there's a 5% loss with flowers. That's not even that normal, but sometimes you will have a 5% loss and that's just how it is in the flower world. So I'm not gonna cry over this one floppy Veronica, but I'm gonna do everything I can to make it stand up again. Okay, so I found the super floppy one. I'm gonna give it a deeper cut than maybe my other ones. So you can see here, I have pulled it a little longer, a little further down. So when I cut these, I'm actually gonna be cutting it further out the stem than the rest. Give that a nice fluff, and I think we are good. So What I'm gonna do now is make sure that these are in a cool room. I don't want them to be sitting somewhere really hot so that all the flowers would die, but I also don't want to put these in a cooler or a refrigerator because we want these to open. So my thermostat is at 68 degrees right now. I think that's perfect. I'll probably come in the morning and these roses will start to open, as well as some of these Solomio and these mums too. So that does it for part one of my pre-made bouquet prep for you guys. Pretty simple. Just make sure that you're taking off those clear plastic sleeves, giving every stem a fresh cut, and placing it in a vase of clean water. Don't leave it in a hot room. Don't refrigerate it. We want everything to open, and then you're sure to have success. So check back with part two and we'll see how these guys opened. Hey there, it's Callie with Flower Moxie, and I'm back for part two of our prepping and hydrating of the pre-made bouquets. So I got all of these in yesterday from our farm in South America, and you can find that information in part one, but they come in and they're a lot smaller than what you see right now. So yesterday I trimmed the stems, I fluffed them up a little bit, I removed any of the nets that were on flowers, and then I put them in water and let them sit in a cool room overnight. When I came back this morning, everything was way more bloomed. They look much better than they did yesterday, and that's completely to be expected. So at this point, I want to show you what I do as the next step in preparing these for the big day. I think I'll start with this pink bouquet and just show you how I would review it and make sure it looks ready to go. As I mentioned, everything was really tight yesterday, and if we'll remember these pink Veronica, they were pretty much just limp noodles, and honestly, it can be very frightening when you first see that. Now today, after just one night of hydration, they're all standing up straight and they feel really firm. So on day one, don't let the sad little flowers scare you. They should perk up. Something else I'm noticing now, these pink roses, they have a little bit of bruising on the outside, and I know that that's just the guard petals. So even though these pre-made bouquets are ready to go, you may need to go through and pluck off any bad petals, anything that's brown. And it's totally normal for roses to have guard petals. That's why they're called guard petals. They protect those pretty inner petals from getting damaged. So pretty much all of these light pink roses have some damaged guard petals. So I'm gonna make sure I go rose by rose and pluck all of those outer petals off. These light pink roses are actually garden roses, which is why they do have these damaged guard petals. That's so common. I can't tell you how many emails we get with people questioning their garden roses because they have these really bad outer petals. It's just because they are so delicate and so prone to browning. That's just kind of how it goes with garden roses. But you'll notice I removed about 4 or 5 outer petals from this rose, and now it's looking perfect and ready to go. Removing guard petals also helps that rose to open up a little bit bigger. So even if they aren't damaged and you want your roses to be really big and open, I like to go ahead and remove 2 or 3 petals anyway. Okay, I want to see if you can see the before and after of this. Here's a rose, I've removed the guard petals. I'm going to simply blow in the middle of it and you can see how big it'll open. And there, it's looking much more like a garden rose as opposed to just a standard light pink rose. Okay, I'm loving the look of this so much more already. I'm gonna go through and look at these dark pink roses. So a fun fact about hot pink, dark pink roses is they are so hardy. I feel like they have got to be the best rose color in the world. They rarely have any petals to remove. That one had a tiny brown spot, so I took it off. And I feel like that may be the only petal I need to take out of the dark pink ones. Yeah, those are looking pretty perfect. So we're gonna move on to the delicate flowers. So in yesterday's video, I talked about how the Solo Mio wasn't blooming yet, but here you can see we have a few that are starting to pop out. It's gonna take maybe another day or two for those to bloom, but they will definitely get there. Okay, the last thing I want to edit in this bouquet would be the ranunculus. So we know that ranunculus sometimes grow curvy or they may get bent in transit. And the simple way to fix that is by wiring them. So I'm going to see if there are any bent in here. It looks like this one could use a little help. Sometimes wiring them just helps you to get them more upright if you want them to extend out of the bouquet. If they're not wired, they may bend involuntarily, or you may bump them into something. So if you're gonna have any floaters outside of your bouquet, I definitely recommend wiring them. Just gives them a little bit more stability. So let's see. This little guy looks like he may have grown crooked, and he did, so I'm gonna remove that and wire him now. Remove any of the leaves or buds that may be in the way also. So you can see perfectly healthy ranunculus, but it's got that curve and I want it to be a little more upright. There are several different ways to wire ranunculus. You could insert the wire from the bottom of the stem, the top of the stem, or maybe in the middle of the stem and go up. The easiest way would be the bottom of the stem, but sometimes the ranunculus has these notches on it right here. And that means it's pretty firm right there and the stem isn't as hollow. So I already know I'm not gonna be able to insert that wire very far through there. It just gets stuck on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire this through the top of the head of the ranunculus and just go down maybe halfway with this wire. So I'm gonna try to hit that hollow stem on my first try through the head of the rose. I did not, but I tried. And then just insert that very slowly, following that stem. Trying to straighten that stem out as I go. And you can see now I have a perfectly, well, mostly straight ranunculus. Just clip that wire out of the top. Give my stem a fresh cut. Now I can insert that back into the vase. One final inspection. I feel like this is pretty much good to go. It already looked good and now it looks even better, and it was just that fast and easy. So I want to stress to you how important it is to just take a minute to review your bouquets. Yes, they look good when they come in. They looked good a day later after hydrating, but just taking a little bit more care to make sure that everything is perfect and good to go is really gonna pay off for you. I will also be adding some roses and greenery to some of these bouquets, and you can find those in our other videos on our YouTube, but this is the quick and easy way to prep and process your pre-made bouquets. You can find these on our website, flowermoxie.com, where we have 12 different color options. We also have bridesmaid bouquets, boutonnieres, and corsages. They're all pre-made and ready to go. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out all of our pre-made bouquets on flowermoxie.com.